Notice is hereby given of a workshop of the Board of Directors of the District to be held at 105 Port Road, Port Isabel, Texas, on the 18th day of November 2015 at the hour of 5 p.m. for the consideration of the business of the agenda below. This notice has been posted at the office of the District on November 12, 2015 at 2 p.m. in accordance with the Texas Opens Meeting Act, and a copy has been furnished to the County Clerk in Cameron County, Texas. Item 1, the meeting is called to order. There is a quorum. All 5 members are present finally. And we'll move on to item 2.
Only item.
We'll move on to item 2 as invocation and pledge of allegiance. Will everybody rise, please?
And Father, we thank you again for another opportunity to meet as a business for the district. We just ask you to guide us and lead us, Lord, in making the right decisions, and that we do everything correct to make the business of the water district go very legitimate and legally, and everything that goes with it, Lord. We just ask you in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to move on to item 3 is the International Bank of Commerce, the golf course agreement for the raw water. I know the board has some questions. Most of the board members probably got questions. Let's try to get this wrapped up, and then we can present it to them. Present some of our changes on there.
Exactly. I think there should be some changes in there, and we can, I guess, let our legal counsel look over it again once and make the corrections on it, and then we present it back to them.
They were aware of this conference and everything, I mean this workshop today, they were aware of?
Yeah, they were.
The golf course people were aware of the workshop at 5?
Yes.
Okay. I think the first and foremost question everybody got on their mind is, I think everybody, is what is the cost of raw water? What does it take for us to deliver raw water to their spot?
What is 1,000 gallons of raw water delivered to their
okay,
end of ordeal?
Más o menos, more or less. Yeah.
I don't know if you all remember that we had a rate study done, and on that one he figured that it was 55 cents, 50 or 55 cents, right?
Yeah, I mean
that's what we recommended the last time, but then the board decided to go to 60 cents. So
okay, that's our cost.
Our cost.
Our cost.
We're making nickel 1,000. Man, we're gonna get rich. I'm telling you guys.
No.
Turn the island off and everybody off.
Is that about,
sell raw water.
Charles, you think that's about right?
Yeah, I mean that's on a 10-year replacement cost. Because I mean, I was going through the rate study and looking at the nuts and bolts to back up the number. And looking at their 10-year cost, like annual cost for the raw water system, and then adding some additional item percentages for admin and customer service, it came out to 44 cents per thousand.
What came out?
The cost for raw water service being 44 cents per thousand.
Okay, Mr. Thomas.
Does that include all the infrastructure, the electric bill, digging out that we need to after 3 years? We need to get a drag line in there and clean out. Does that include the cost of the pumps we're going to have to replace out at the river? Their portion thereof?
Yeah, they're using a $450,000 annual cost, so that'll include pump replacement and maintenance. It doesn't include debt service because debt service is paid through our property tax. So this is strictly O&M.
Is that for everyone, or just to get to that customer, or is that the actual true cost of what that water is?
It's the raw water system as a whole, and then it's a uniform amount whether we're pumping it to water plant 1 or
that gets us to water plant number 2. Is that correct?
Right, and water plant 1.
All right, so you're saying about 45 cents. Let's just round it up. 45 cents is our cost, and we're going to be charging them 60. Is what we did last
like
time.
90 to me.
All right. What's y'all's recommendation?
I'd recommend that we go to.
I was looking at staff, Mr. Thomas.
Well, let's hear what he has to say first.
Okay. All right, Mr. Thomas, go for it. What do you think, guys?
Basically, I'll say let's go to 80 cents a thousand with a $250 minimum base fee, and it will be renewed on an annual basis. That's my recommendation to this board. That's it. If they don't like that, we'll just go for $1 a gallon.
Why annual?
Why
For
annual?
1,000.
Why annual?
Things change.
There is a clause in there that we can go up 5% every year, but if you look closely at section 3, it says you can't really do a rate increase for the first 4 years.
Well, those are the items that we should change.
That's right.
That's what we need to
That's
change.
right.
They can take that and throw it away. Just
Well,
throw that away.
No, I'm saying, they've already done a nice contract, let's just change it to what we want, that's my opinion, change it to what we want it to.
Well, I told you what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
As far as their contract goes, my attitude is that the tail's trying to wag the dog.
Okay, well, let's go one at a time, I mean, he likes 80 cents.
Simple as that.
So do I.
Can I just,
Mr. Galvan.
we can do it every year, and if it looks okay, we'll keep it that way. If it doesn't, we'll change it, but, yeah, I think it'll be.
Times are too volatile right now.
Yeah.
Financially, with the way the government is and the country is, to lock us into some long deal.
All right.
It's scary.
Okay, so if we look at, I don't know if y'all have it there, the 2.3 section. Daisy, can you call that up? Scroll down, 2.3. You see that one? Let's go to 2.3, because that's where the money's at, and that's where that 5% annually with 60 days notice.
This one, Nita.
On the new contract.
On the new contract, yes ma'am.
Because we got both of them.
Yeah, not the old one, the proposed one.
Now, I wanna look.
Now, one thing
Already
about
been through
this
it.
addition, the whole 5% limit for annual increase, that was something that's not in the Delos Partners Agreement. That's entirely new language that they've
That they
added.
put, yeah, that's right, I know, and so, okay, so, I mean, if the board prefers, let's move that .60 to .80 per 1,000 gallons, right?
Yep.
And then as far as increase with no 5%, it's just unlimited. We can't limit ourselves, I don't think we can limit ourselves like Mr. Wells was saying, to 5%.
No,
In case something catastrophic happens, we can't limit ourselves to
No.
to a 5% increase.
that's why we'll do an annual renewal.
So we can do an increase, I don't know how that would be worded though.
Well, I guess
There
legal
will
counsel.
be no increase.
And I
It'll
told
be
him he didn't have to
reviewed
come, 'cause I know
annually.
who charges for, he can still do the work for us, like, do the legal wording after, we approve, like, if y'all do approve it, with,
If we go to annual, the 5% is moved. That's
I mean,
correct.
that's-
Yeah,
That's nothing.
yeah,
You don't
it would
have
be
it in
moved.
there.
That part would be eliminated.
Because
if we
they're
go
saying
annual.
5% annually, well, we're renegotiating it
No.
annually, so.
yeah.
But to be reviewed annually.
Yeah, and,
Annually.
you know,
To
just
be
tell,
reviewed
just
an-
tell them
to
we're
be
not looking
reviewed
to, we're not
annually.
looking to raise it every year.
Yeah, there you go.
but just-
Reviewed annually,
We gotta
yeah.
make money
To
on
be
this stuff.
reviewed and subject to change. Doesn't mean that it's
Okay.
gonna be, to be reviewed and subject to change.
Yeah, to be
Okay.
reviewed, subject to change.
Okay. And
With
then-
60 days, you like the 60 days notice in there, if we're gonna change it? I'd leave that there.
No, annual basis. We won't change it for a full year.
Okay.
And then you're gonna change to 2026, annual.
What?
Okay,
They tried
let's
to lock-
just,
They tried to lock us in the last.
I know, but let's go
No,
down.
that contract is null and void, Rick. It
I know,
just
but-
doesn't even exist.
Well, that's in the new one.
In the new one, let's
No,
go down.
we're going to write them a contract. They can either sign it or
Oh,
not.
okay, I
No,
thought
no.
we were just gonna change some wording.
I thought we
No.
would just change some wording, they've already got it there, we'll let our attorney change some wordings, cross off some things and put in some new things. It'd be a lot easier for all of us instead of having to pay, our council $180 an hour or whatever he charges.
Yeah.
What,
Well, but
just
okay,
take you
section
5
three-
minutes to write a letter?
Okay, section 3 would be eliminated, right? If you go to section 3, because this says about something about 4 years without a rate increase, well, that would be,
No.
that should be eliminated, omitted,
Omit it, okay.
okay? And then, y'all agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, and then let's go to section 5. Now, I got a problem there. I had Carlos and staff, put it in our packages about what their bills are,
Yeah.
and what their usage has been. Y'all see that? It should be in the package. It's right above the first contract. Mr. Thomas, let me finish my point, and then we'll get to you, okay? All right. Isn't it there?
Section 5 is page number 5.
No, but the usage, right? Wasn't the usage in there also?
First
Yeah,
page.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah, the
First page.
750, us committing 750 acre-feet to them is not right based on what their usage has been. So I think we probably should cut that to what's the...
Jeff, what has their usage been? I guess I didn't.
It's not in there? Or is it in the regular package?
Yeah,
Wait,
but
here it is, here it
see-
is, here it is, wait a minute.
See what happens?
There it is. I don't know if I didn't bring that.
Jeff,
Yes, sir.
I think that one was 750 because that's how many acre feet that they have in there that they gave to the district when they annexed into the district. I believe that's why they had 750
Oh, they gave that
acre
to
feet.
the...
Well, I'm pretty sure when
well,
they
did that
annexed.
to them.
Here it says the maximum volume of water which the district is obligated to deliver owner under this agreement shall be 750 acre-feet per year.
Mm-hmm, yep.
We
And
shouldn't...
it's like 990, like close to 1 million per day.
Three acre-feet per day, but we can't, but they haven't been using 750 acre-feet.
No, they haven't.
Well, it's 'cause it's been raining.
Well, if you look at the last,
Right,
since
2 years.
November 13th, 335
Bang my head
acre-feet
against
There
the
was-
ground here.
was the first year. I'll be right with you, Mr.
Yeah.
Thomas.
I
And
think
then
we need to-
296.
Right.
So don't we need to change that 750, knock it
could.
down to 400 or something?
Well, we need to look at a drought year.
Huh?
Dry year, no one over that.
Really?
Because I know that he had seen some numbers that they surpassed that, the 750 at one couple of months or so.
Yeah, I don't know, one year when we were rail tracking water rights, 'cause, you
Yeah.
know, we were fully prorated, I think one year they had used like 1,250
And
acre feet.
that has to change because if you keep 750, I mean, they're gonna surpass our prorated water rights.
Last 2 years, they just haven't had to use a lot of water.
Hold on,
No.
hold on, Rick, I'm just trying to get a handle on this. So we leave the 750 in there? Mr. Thomas, you have some insight to this
Yes,
section, go for it.
this contract they have written is not a real contract. It is a proposed contract.
Correct.
My suggestion is we take it out, throw it away, and start from scratch one.
So, okay, so your suggestion, our attorney writes up another contract, and then we're gonna...
A simple contract. A one-page, simple contract, which I proposed, 80 cents a thousand. $250 base minimum, and an annual renew on the contract. That takes about, depends on how double-spaced, or what would you think, Daisy? Would it be this big or that big? It's a take it or leave it basis.
Lucia was here.
Well, there needs to be a provision in there
Yeah.
that municipal has first priority in
Now,
drought
we
year.
do need a clause in there for drought conditions to where we can cut them off at any time, 100%, because of total drought conditions, and, you know,
All right,
I'm sorry.
But Whitey, can I point this out, with it just being a one-year contract, I don't think we can get in trouble on drought conditions, because it's gonna take a year to drain the damn dam over there. See what I'm saying, when we're going with a 1 year, and I think that's our safety net.
But it still well, that's okay.
See what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
We're committing for such a short period that, yeah.
Gentlemen.
3 years. All right, so,
I
okay.
still have the floor, excuse me.
Go for it.
I've spent a lot of time getting the floor, you gave me the floor, now everybody else wants to talk again. Okay. I went through their contract several times. I don't like their contract. My attitude is take their contract and let them do whatever they want to do with it. We'll give them our contract, and they have an option to accept it or reject it. Now, I don't know, I'm not a very smart man, but this is a pretty simple deal.
Okay, so
If I
what...
take my truck to
Right.
Martine, fix my brakes, $200. Well, I can get it done for $50. Martine says, go ahead. Nice knowing you, Whitey. Right?
All right, so Mr. Thomas, maybe, you know, based on that, maybe what we should do is just, we express our concerns and our opinions. We'll write them down, you give them to Mr. Lucio, have him write up a contract based on what the board wants, and we go from there. Correct?
Well,
But that's what we're doing right now, Eddie.
Mr.
I mean,
Chairman,
we already
That's
went-
what we're doing right now.
We already did the
Mr.
80 cents, like you said, now we're
Right.
just looking at the acre feet. Now, we're trying to give him information so he can put it in the new, you know, what we want.
gotcha.
You know, that's all
Okay.
we're doing.
Yeah, so, what do you guys think on that acre feet clause in there? We need to tell Eddie something on that. I mean, you said that was up to 1,250 acre feet 1 year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't need to be modified based on the past 2 years, and then I need to go check my numbers from the 1250, see if that's accurate or not.
Okay, Mr. Thomas?
If we do have, on their acre feet, and Rick pointed it out, the way conditions are now that we've got plenty of water, but if for some reason we have something really go down, we still need to be able to cut them off. If we have to go on an emergency pumping system, we still have to provide water to the general public first.
I got it. All right, so,
For, gee, Granny might wanna take a bath, okay?
okay, so Mr. Thomas, you suggested let's put in a clause saying municipal gets first rights.
Of course it does.
Okay, we need to have a clause in there for that then, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, doesn't section 4 already address that issue?
I think I saw that.
They
I
even
saw
have that in their
It's already in
contract.
there.
Section 4 is already in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I saw that
They've got
in
it
there
in
too.
there, in their contract.
Right.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And then 7.1, we just make it an annual thing.
It's also in, 1.3.3, it says owner uses the potable water for irrigation, but then it also says owner operates a golf course and owner previously, it does have a clause there where it says the water supply for domestic purposes has priority on it, but, okay.
So, I mean, basically, I don't have a problem with their contract except changing it to 80 cents, taking out the increase 5% annually, taking out that section 3, 4 years without a rate increase, because section 7.1 will go to annual, correct? And then we already got a clause in there for municipal water, potable waters, people get priority. Right?
Mm-hmm, yep.
I believe that we really need a contract. I mean, it shouldn't be ever just one-page deal or anything like that. And also,
Yeah, I know.
like this contract is kind of like they're offering us, you know, because they want to be protected. So now we, you know, should pursue this and put it into our attorney so he can protect us and make sure that all the governmental laws are in there, you know, that are going to be working towards us.
But I know contracts have to have
Yes.
definitions, and, you know, there's legal
That
things
we-
to have
We
in
may
these
not
contracts.
even understand all
Yeah.
because it's technical, but we need to be covered in all aspects.
Yeah, I know it couldn't be a one page, but it's just, legal contracts can't be one page. Well, they can, but,
No, you gotta put all the crap.
I know,
in
you
there.
gotta put the lawyer
Yes,
crap in there.
it has to be there because you never know when you may use it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Wells has a comment for everybody?
The reason they've got this section 7 in here on the term, through 2026, they've got a golf course they're trying to market, that they're trying to sell. And when they say, hey, we got 11-year deal with the water district, that's what the deal is.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to sell it versus, well, we got a 12-month deal with the water district.
Yeah, well,
But that's why
The
they,
only water district.
the only.
I never thought of that.
And
Thank
that's
you,
why-
Rick.
That's why they
Yeah.
put that in there like that.
yeah, well, typically, like, with a new connection, you would enter into a 30-year water agreement where you're agreeing to provide a certain amount of water rights to the connection for 30 years. And so 2026 was 30 years at the time this was originally
There
written.
you go. So are we still stuck with that?
No.
I mean,
No.
that was the
No.
Delos
We're
Partners.
stuck
which
with
doesn't exist,
nothing.
so-
That was Delos, and we
Right,
don't have,
Delos.
Delos is no
Back
longer
then.
involved, and this is a new,
But that's
new
why
entity.
they're trying to get the long-term deal, so they can say, hey, we got a long-term deal with the water district.
Can y'all, anybody think of any disadvantages of just doing it annually? Any disadvantages to that? Besides paperwork and?
I mean, the only disadvantages.
Nothing.
I see is just having a uniform raw water rate structure. As far as, say, this Little League's gonna come on, and is their raw water rate gonna be different than what we charge the golf course? Or if the high school ever comes on, is they gonna have their own?
Well, they have money to pay back and then it goes to 60 cents. Is that what we're gonna do with them?
Well,
If you out of your mind, we're gonna fix stuff.
The obligation was we basically build it all and have a rate at 60 cents.
No, guys, I told you guys all along, we're charging them what we're gonna keep charging. We'll get to that later, but I told you guys all along, we're gonna charge them what we keep charging them until we recoup our cost.
Right.
And then we go to the 60 cents on what we paid out. That's what I've been telling you guys all along.
Nope.
You're paying for sewer and.
Oh,
they're paying.
you're talking about the other,
Yeah, I'm talking
Yeah,
about them
no,
over here.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about them
Oh,
over here.
yeah.
Yeah, we keep charging them what we're charging them until we get to recoup
Right.
our investment to get them to the raw water, then we cut them to 60 cents.
So every raw water account would be like a key
Well,
account that would have to.
It all has
this
to
one
be
is a
looked at.
different contract, that's all it is.
It all has to be
It's not-
looked at different,
Okay.
yeah. As far as if we're putting up some money to begin with and getting them in the raw water, because we're the ones that were pushing them for that.
Yes, but this one's a different contract than
different.
the others.
All right, any other comments, questions, Mr. Thomas?
No, all I've gotta say, if they're gonna squeal like pigs over 80 cents, I'll give you $1,000 tomorrow. You provide me a 5/8 raw water meter at my house. Oh, man, I'm a happy camper. Yes, sir. My house will look like a park.
Green,
I'll have to buy a riding lawnmower, okay? So they can talk about this and that and this and that. The bottom line is, guys, they got a good deal for raw water because the original people, when they started building the golf course, a friend of mine and went out there, and what the hell are they gonna do for water? Pardon my expression. Well, they were building all these ponds. They're going to have their own storage facility. Of course, they were too cheap to seal the bottoms of the ponds, so the salt water seeped in, and now they don't have, those ponds are brackish water if they pour it on the grass. It'll kill it, yeah, pretty good.
Our raw water.
So, I'm sorry.
Charles, what does PUB charge for raw water?
They don't have a fee system in place for raw water.
Huh?
They don't have a fee system in place, so somebody can drop a pump in their resaca, and there's no fee system.
So they just pay, or they just get it for free?
They get it for free.
Raw water's free in Brownsville.
Because there's no.
If you pump it out of the resaca.
Well, you have to live on the resaca and, put your pump in there. Nobody can stop you.
Wow.
Well, you get some sort of conditions only, but no one is enforcing them.
Right, like if you were in Brownsville Irrigation District, like the east side, or within District 6 areas, I mean, then you're paying like the irrigation, whatever the irrigation district would charge.
Like the $200 a year, whatever they
Yeah.
charge for irrigation.
So when I grew up in Palo Verde, we could have been pumping the water straight out of the recycle there.
Tell Perlman that, man, he's squawking about what it's costing the water to get.
He squawks about everything.
From
you know that.
Palo Verde.
Anybody else wanna talk about our dilemma? If not, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah. So we got everything what we want? for the
And
workshop?
in 2026, it goes to 1 year too.
1 year.
are y'all gonna include the $250?
Minimum?
$250, monthly late fee?
I think that's a moot point because their bill's always gonna be more than that anyway.
Okay, that was my other question. That's right, thank you. Is the $250 on top of
On top of,
the minimum, or is that when they hit that $250, which would be that?
on top
No,
of the
that
minimum.
was just the base, charge for services, like, it was $208.
$250, and then they start paying their 80
But
cents
that's not
a
what they're saying we're
thousand.
doing,
It's
why?
not on top of it, no.
That's why I'm confused, because you're telling me one thing and they're telling me something else.
Because we don't pay on top. I mean, regular people around here on a 5/8 meter, we don't pay on top.
So when they get
Well,
above the
excuse me.
$208, then it becomes a moot point and they're just paying for the.
I put a padlock in my thing
The
and
208 is
leave
just
for a year.
a base pay that they pay monthly for the
Just about, I
services
get a
of,
bill for $25 a month.
having the water
for
services
district.
is just a
And
base. It's always there first, and then the rest comes in.
But they don't, but when they go above that, then they're not paying it. They don't pay it, or?
Oh, they pay it all the time. They were paying it all the time until,
I don't have a problem putting a minimum in there like we do with all the others.
See, I'm
We have a
confused.
minimum.
Is it like the minimum plus starting at one, at 1,000 acre feet they start paying, or when they get to that amount, does that go away and they just pay for the fee?
it's always been there like a service charge. Like
Service
say,
charge.
they pay 208, and then whatever water they use, it's a separate charge.
There's
Like,
extra.
It adds
Okay.
to it, you know,
Alright.
so it's.
Okay, so that's not above that amount after they hit
No.
that amount?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna
Okay.
do 250?
The service,
Yeah,
service
see.
charge.
Alright. 250 plus 80 cents,
Mhm.
annual, and, what else, a clause in, well, we got a clause in there to protect our butts, the municipal water people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Martine, how are you doing on that?
Everybody agrees on that?
Alright, I did email our attorney to see if I needed to recuse myself or whether I needed to.
There was a motion on the floor, Commander.
Well, there's no motion, okay? There's no motion to do anything here.
The
So
motion to
I'm just letting
adjourn.
y'all know that I did talk to our attorney, he says I don't have to recuse myself and, I don't have to
Under
sign.
Robert Rule of
I
Order,
don't
you're
have to
supposed
sign
to
any
call
conflict
for
of
the
interest.
second.
Okay.
It could die for lack of a second, but you're supposed to call for the second under Robert Rules of Order.
Okay, well, according to our agenda, we're on item 3, the next item is adjournment, and I'll just adjourn it, being that there's no further action
A
or.
motion to adjourn under Robert Rules of Orders is
Right.
always,
Right.
always.
So being that there's no further
In
action,
order.
I recommend the meeting's adjourned.
I'll abstain.